Hey, it's Dave from Chaos Guitars, and today we are unboxing something that could be pretty cool. It's an unbranded guitar. The reason I say this could be pretty cool is because I've seen these all over eBay. They come in different styles, different shapes, sizes, whatever. 6-string, 4-string bass, and I've been wanting to get one for shits and giggles, because I thought there's no way this can be worth having as a real instrument, because I picked this up for, I kid you not, and I'll put the actual price online when I edit this down, but I think it was like 60 bucks, $58, $59. So I thought, can this be something? My initial thought was, can this be something I can make great? I've taken a lot of stuff that was not so good and made it great. I have a lot of confidence in myself. I know I can make this great, but what's it going to take? So I thought, this is perfect to do an unboxing with and a review on, and then we take this guitar, we put it through its paces, we do whatever we need to do with it, modifications, paintwork, whatever we decide. Maybe you tell us what to do, and we make this thing great. So we take a $60 guitar, and maybe we even spin this off into its own series and go through step by step on what we got to do to build yourself a great guitar from nothing. So that's what I was initially thinking. But for right now, let's do the unboxing and see what we got. So this came right off eBay. As you can see, there's no logos, no names, no nothing, because it's unbranded. This is the guitar that importers and exporters and stuff buy, and they buy in bulk because they're so cheap, and then they sell them off to other people or to other companies, and then maybe the other companies will stamp their logo on them or something, but they're unbranded. There's no brand name to them, so I could technically take this, slap my logo on it, and sell it to you for twice the price if I want to. And there's people doing that. I can't stand that, but there are people doing it. So here we go. It's kind of like the Glary in the fact that you get extra stuff, which I love. You get the gig bag, as I smack the mic, you get the gig bag, which, you know, it's not padded. It's great to keep the dirt and dust off it, and it's a great carrying bag. When somebody brings me a guitar to work on, I'd rather it be in this than handed to me without anything. So, not for nothing, it's not bad. I'd rather have this than have nothing. You get 2 Allen keys. That's kind of impressive. An Allen key, I'm assuming, for the bridge, and I'm assuming for the truss rod, which we'll know when we take this out of here. You get a cable and a pick. You get a strap. So again, right out of the box, if you have a practice amp, you can start playing, assuming it's playable, which we're going to get to. So I do kind of like that. I said in a couple of my other videos, I don't understand why higher end guitars don't do that. Now, obviously, you're spending $1,000 on a guitar. You're not going to get a strap and a cable, because people are assuming you already have gear. But why not $300-400 guitars, name brand? Why not get a good cable and a good strap? I don't know. Anyway, so this is your typical packaging that I can't stand, but I get it with something this cheap. This, as you can see, doesn't do much for a guitar and shipping, especially up here. I mean, it doesn't take much to get that smacked around and the headstock get chipped or cracked or whatever. So I'm not a big fan of these boxes, but I understand it keeping the price down. However, I will say, I will guarantee you this is from China. So again, came overseas on a shipping container, salt water, that whole deal. And I can tell you right now from looking at it through the bag that it's in nicer condition than the new, quote, used Mitchell that I got from the big box store, which I can get a guitar from China, but not from 5 miles down the road. Yep, I'm going to harp on that for the rest of my life. Okay, so first impressions. I'll make this as quick as possible. The fret ends, horrible. Every single fret end on here, for the most part, needs fret end work. They all need to be taken care of. They're sharp. It's not comfortable to play. Definitely needs to be taken care of. You can play it out of the box like this, absolutely, and we're going to. But that's something I would definitely get taken care of. The switch, kind of janky. It's probably the cheapest switch they could put in here because they're looking at saving money. They mass produce these. They want them as cheap as possible. That's how I got it so cheap. So as long as it's wired right and it works, it's fine, except it feels cheap. Knobs actually are smooth, very smooth. They feel okay. I did notice this one was loose on the pot, but it's not anything, I can't put blame anywhere. Nothing's broken, nothing's the way it shouldn't be. It just isn't sitting on there real tight, so we need to split that shaft open a little bit. It's a typical problem, happens on all guitars. Pickups are typical. I've seen these pickups a million times. They're cheap. They work perfect for learning, jamming in your room, whatever. These are not pickups you're going to play live with. Traditional bridge, Strat tremolo style bridge, more of a vibrato. Relatively cheap. Not a lot of mass to it. If you're just using it as a hardtail, you're going to screw it all down and use it all 6 screws tight, use it as a hardtail, it's fine. It would work as a vibrato too, but I would keep it as a hardtail only because there's not a lot of mass to it. The block underneath is really thin, so that would be my choice. Finish is good. Finish looks really good. Can't find any flaws in it, which is surprising. Got a loose strap button in the back. The strap button up top here is fine. I did notice it seems to want to sit this way, which I have a BC Rich I ordered custom in 1989, 88. Spent a ton of money on it, and that damn thing sits like this. I don't ever play it. It's so uncomfortable, it's unbelievable. If this sits funny on a strap, all bets are off, because that's the worst thing with a guitar. Then you got to start moving strap buttons, and I would absolutely move strap buttons, otherwise you'll never play it. But we'll see what happens with that. Tuners, unbranded tuners. There's good, there's bad unbranded. Unbranded is like anything else. I am absolutely not against unbranded. I use a lot of unbranded stuff because when you have a company, I don't want a lot of stuff from other companies on my guitars. I want everything mine as much as possible. You need unbranded for that. There's good, there's bad. Just like regular product. There's high end, there's low end. These are low end unbranded. The top 3 tuners are okay. Bottom 3 got some play in them. You give it a, you get a good 1/8 of a turn or so before it even engages in the gear. So will they work? Yes. Would they be fine for somebody beginning and learning how to play? Absolutely. But they're at the lower end, which everything on this guitar is going to be, hardware-wise, is going to be at the lower end because it's cheap. Not always a bad thing, depending on what you're using it for. The action is not good. It is not unplayable, but it's high, and it's high right in this area, right around the 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th fret. And let's see if I can show it to you on the camera. The neck's got too much of a bow to it. And I'm guessing, they're shipping these things from overseas. They're sitting in a warehouse. These are all mass produced. They're cheap. Importers, exporters are buying them up like crazy. They're sitting here in the United States forever. Hot warehouses, cold warehouses, whatever. There's no climate control like here. I got humidifiers, dehumidifiers, everything's where it should be. These don't have that. With a cheap guitar, you expect this. Fixable, absolutely. Unplayable right now? No, not unplayable. Intonation, I know because I put a tuner on it, not good. We're going to find out if it's usable, because I'm going to have Aiden from Relapse come in here in a little bit and play this. I've played it. It's doable for somebody who's been playing. Now, for a beginner, I don't know. Probably, I would say the intonation has to be taken care of. The action has to be taken care of. Fret ends, definitely. But, you know, we'll find out if it's actually playable when Aiden gets in here and starts ripping through it. Other than that, it's what I expected. Cheap hardware. And a guitar that you probably could learn on relatively well. It's good. This is the way I look at it. When I was young and wanted to play guitar, I didn't want to play Mary Had a Little Lamb, stuff like that. I didn't want to play on an acoustic. I was a metalhead. I always liked heavy music. I wanted a Flying V. I wanted a BC Rich. I wanted something cool. I wanted whatever my favorite guy at the time was playing, and I wanted to learn on that. That was part of why I wanted to learn. This is a pretty cool guitar. It's a pretty aggressive guitar. If you're into that style of music, you might want this. So that right there is enough to say, that's cool. I might want to learn how to play guitar. So if we can make this work, we're going to make this work. Because the worst thing you can do with somebody, especially a young person, looking to play an instrument, is give them, well, you must do it this way. You must use this, you must use that. You must start at the very bottom with the crappiest songs that you really don't want to learn. But I remember me. I really want to play Blackout by Scorpions. I really want to play that album. I really want to play Scorpions. I want to play Scorpions. That's what I want to play. I want to play Ozzy. Well, no. You're not ready for any of that. First, Mary Had a Little Lamb. I had this big giant acoustic guitar and played Mary Had a Little Lamb for God knows how long. And I gave up. I quit. Got rid of the guitar, quit lessons, and then a year or so later I bought a white Cort Destroyer, sat down in my room and started learning Metallica and stuff. And that's how I learned. Because I didn't have somebody to say, hey, you can get one of these, a cool guitar at a cheap price. And now with internet, this was before internet because I'm old as shit, now you can learn online. So I want to give you a good instrument that's worth buying so you're not going to waste your money. And so far, for what I paid for this, not horrible. Not tremendous, but not horrible. So let's see how it plays. And I think the point in this is, once we're done with this, I'm not going to sell it and make anything off it, that's for sure. So I'm going to gut it. And we're going to build a shit-ass killer guitar out of this. And maybe what we'll do is we'll use it for our next charity for this upcoming year or something. Or I'll sell it off or whatever. But yeah, we're gonna make a killer metal guitar out of this, I think. So if you want to see that, maybe we'll do a spin-off show, go step by step, show you what you need to do to make something like that. If you're interested in that, let us know. We tried it once before and nobody cared. Nobody was interested. I was willing to show everybody exactly what you needed to do step by step, and people were like, fuck that. If you don't want to learn, fine. That's cool too. But if you're interested, leave it in the comments, because if I don't see any interest, I'm not going to waste my time, because these things take hours and hours and hours of video and editing and everything else. But if there's interest, maybe we'll videotape it as we do it, and you can learn too. Either way, I think that's the plan for this one. Maybe our next charity, or we auction it off for a charity. So, let's see what it sounds like though. Let's get Aiden in here and see what this thing sounds like.
let's hear it through a real amp. Sure. So my biggest complaints with this guitar are that the intonation is all sorts of out of whack, as you expect with an instrument with a price point such as this one. The potentiometers are actually quite smooth. There's no looseness to them. They actually have weight. And also, this toggle switch is terrible. I'm going to be straight up, especially because these pickups are not the best either, but it's kind of what you gotta expect.